So Ryan, congratulations on Prey.
Thank you, bud. Thanks.
Um,
God,
so
that article you wrote would have been so long ago, man. It's kind of impressive we're both still here.
I know we're both. I think you did pretty well, so I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Since that story, I take
Yeah.
all the credit, of course. Um, so tell me a little bit about like how do you go about picking a role like this? Like what are your like what do you look for in the ideal role?
Well, specific to Prey, I had worked with Makunda once before, and actually just finished a third film with him a couple weeks ago. And so I knew that I liked his process and the person that he was. Um, and also the simplicity of the pitch, man, the concept, the idea of being on this plane that goes down in a reserve for big prey, for big game is was just like it captured my imagination pretty immediately. I like survival movies, and I felt like this was one that, were any of us to put ourselves in that situation mentally, it's terrifying. And so it was a really easy sell in regards to um, what the idea of the movie was, and I like that a lot of times. I think that in its simplicity, there's a relatability to that, because you can imagine what if it happened to you, or whatever. And Also, I'd always wanted to work with Emile. I was a fan of his work, and we had known each other socially a bit, but we weren't very close at the time. And So those components were the reasons why I responded, and wanted to do it, and making these independent films in such a short space of time is so difficult, man. It's just like um, you're really scrambling, and you're really hopeful that you end up with something that is good, but it is a challenge, when you've got such a small budget and such a short window of time. Um, so that's just part of what's happened within our industry over the last, decade or so.
Yeah, talk about some of those scenes that you have with Emile. You got some very physical scenes with him. What do you remember most about some of these scenes that you had with him, about working with him and the process between you two?
Well, I remember in the scene where I'm choking him that he said that he had a neck vertebrae that was out of place, and that I couldn't, and that it was dangerous for me to apply too much pressure. So I really had to fake, and I didn't want to choke him anyway. I like him, but usually when I do physical stuff, I don't mind if people do a little bit of actual contact or whatever it is with me. But I remember being so scared that I was going to hurt his neck. Um, Emile is very committed. He really cares about what he's doing. He's very prepared. He's such a genial individual. And it just, we connected. We had a lot of friends in common. I knew that we would get along, and we had, like I said, met socially multiple times. But yeah, I think we have very similar approaches to how we work. Um, and He was just, it's like, it's great when you have a job and you're happy to be around a person
Yeah.
all day for 5 days a week, and that's definitely what the case was with us.
Now that you've gotten to see the film, do you have a favorite scene from it?
I think, I like I like the moments of jeopardy a great deal, because I think that's what initially drew me to the project. Um, and the notion of there's a thread of conversations with God, um, and there's that notion also of sacrifice, especially for Emile's character. Um, and so I think that the moments that those themes are highlighted are among my favorite.
Mhm. Talk a little bit. You get to play opposite Mina Savari, who plays your wife in the film. Talk a little bit about working with her and what that was like for you.
Mina's great. We actually were in a small movie many years ago together, but we had no scenes. It was an ensemble, a film with a bunch of different stories that kind of all tie together. And so we hadn't worked together, but I did know her a little bit. And I just thought, the casting she was great because you believe her as this missionary, as this woman who would give and want to um, help these children in this village and do our mission work and we had decided that a backstory was that I was a character who at one point had lost my way and wasn't particularly religious and maybe was going in a direction that wasn't so healthy or positive, and that she kind of changed my character's life and then convinced me to give up whatever I was doing in the Western world and go to Africa and give back. And so that was kind of how I looked at her character as she was the beginning of my character's salvation at some point. Yeah, and I thought she was really great for the part.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have a memory of working with I mean, it seems like a pretty interesting cast, working behind the scenes with this group.
There were arduous elements. It was the climate was incredibly difficult for all of us. And again, it's a small movie. You don't have all of the comforts that you might be used to on other projects. So I don't even think we went to our trailers. I think they were too far away from set, and it was a long trek there and back. And so we all spent a great deal of time just on set in between takes together. And we're dirty. We very different ones of us have fake blood and or wounds on us, and it was not a glamorous shoot by any stretch of the imagination. But luckily, we all had similar personalities in regard to being down to be dirty. And Mukunda, our director, is such a spiritual and soulful guy with such a interesting personal history. He was a monk for 7 years in India, and he is a poet and writer. He has a novel coming out soon, and I don't know. So there was this harmonic sort of spiritual uh, sense to the set of this film.
Yeah, indeed you have. So, hey, Ryan, congratulations on the film, and thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. Hopefully we'll get
Thank
to
you,
talk
Eric.
before the next 20 years go by.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Thanks for watching the You Interview channel. With over 3,000 original celebrity videos, we have one of the largest collections of celebrity interviews anywhere. So remember to like and comment on our videos and subscribe to the channel. If you want to get more involved, you can become a member of the channel. Membership has its perks. You can see exclusive celebrity videos and get the opportunity to ask our celebrity guests questions. We can't wait to hear from you.